It looks like BNB might be in big trouble, and that doesn't mean trouble for BNB only, that means trouble for the complete altcoin market. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the possibility is pretty possible. So let's take a look at that while you're at it. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, and let's get right into it. Now, what's going on here exactly? Maybe more than you think. So BNB is currently sitting at $233, and you might be like, yeah, okay, so what? That's a good price, right? Let's find out. Let's find out. So the first thing I would like to mention right here is the BNB price chart. If I look at this chart, I am getting a little concerned right here. But first, let me talk about the narrative of this price chart. So Elliott Trades made a pretty decent video about this, and let me show you around 20 seconds of what he said right here. Check this out.
Check this out. Binance's general counsel, Chief Strategy Officer, and Senior Vice President for Compliance are among those that have resigned, a source familiar with the matter told Fortune. In addition, Binance's Global Vice President of Marketing Communications left the company in June. Binance spokesperson did not immediately return a request for comment. We did see this, which is Patrick Hillman, and he was the Chief Strategy Officer at Binance. He put up this...
Check out this video. But basically what he's saying is a lot of people are leaving Binance. They are no longer willing to work for Binance, and they say they have different reasons, but it's all coming together at the same moment, and that looks a little suspicious. So why are these people leaving Binance right now? Also, Binance quit in the Netherlands. I can't use Binance anymore, for example. There are more countries where you can't use Binance. Now there's a lot of FUD going on. BUSD was labeled as a security, and there is more and more and more. Now, of course, if you think about Binance, you also think about BNB. And I want to make very clear, BNB is more than Binance, right? It's running the BNB Smart Chain, for example. Now, the BNB Smart Chain and Binance are two completely different things. But if something happens to Binance, you can of course bet that BNB will take a big hit. Then we have to take a look. How much room does BNB have to take that hit? And if that hit gets taken, what does that mean for the rest of the crypto market? And why is that affecting the rest of the crypto market? Now, let's dive into the charts of BNB. So first thing I would like to mention is this chart. This is the BNB Bitcoin chart. Now, this is super important. Right, a lot of people, they like a crypto asset and they only look at the dollar pair, and they be like, okay, it's not that bad. It is bad. It is bad, right? And I can show you very quickly this example right here. If you, for example, random, right? Take a look at Vulcan Forged. Cool. You see Vulcan Forged, and you might be like, oh, this is going sideways, so it didn't change really, right? You would say, right? It's now sitting at the same price as, for example, where it was in September 2022. Okay. Let's take a look. Where was Bitcoin in September 2022? Bitcoin was sitting here, 20K. Bitcoin is now sitting at 30K. So Bitcoin went up $10,000, and Vulcan Forge, for example, hasn't changed. Okay. So how does the Vulcan Forge Bitcoin chart looks like? Well, like this, right? September 2022, it was sitting here, right? This was twice as high. So altcoins, a lot of altcoins, and this now also goes for BNB, but BNB is a bit of a problem, Vulcan Forge not, right? But altcoins, best case scenario, some go up a little bit with this Bitcoin move to the upside, but most of them, they either go down or stay at the same level. And you might be like, okay, they're just running behind. No, they are not really running behind. It's showing the complete weakness and the extreme risk of the altcoin market right now. Because, again, Vulcan Forge in this case, but, you know, insert any altcoin, is holding up, not even going up, holding up, just because Bitcoin is doing quite well. But don't you expect after a move from Bitcoin from, you know, 15K to 30K, that it will have a correction at some point, like we had in every pre-halving year, right? Like here and here. We are there right now, exactly there, all right? So yeah, you can bet your money on the fact like, oh no, this time Bitcoin is not going to have a correction for some reason. But guess what if it does, right? Then we have a bit of a problem, right? Because in this case, Fomo Forge is already, it lost support against its Bitcoin pair. So on that pair, the support is gone, right? What if Bitcoin goes down? What do you think happens to this chart? This will break that support easy, right? And therefore, I'm very skeptical about altcoins. Now, that's about Fomo Forge, but let's go back to BNB. Why is BNB so dangerous, and why could this completely destroy the altcoin market? Well, that's because of this. BNB Bitcoin is also sitting at a big deal of support right here, right? What we see in this chart is what BNB Bitcoin does. It went up quite hard, right? BNB, this was quite of an up-only project so far, but nothing sustains like that. And here we had a pretty decent bear market for BNB, but it's not that bad, right? What you'll see is that BNB is sitting in this range right here and above this range since April 2021, right? April 2021. Back then, that was where BNB, let me see, that was here. All right, so that was where BNB just had its bull run, basically. Went from nothing to $200, all the way to $700 almost, and now down again, right? So that's the thing right now. If, let me go back to this chart. If this support gets broken, then we have a problem. Now, you can, of course, give the counter argument like, yeah, well, big support right here. And it is. It is definitely big support. And I'm not saying this will get broken. But if it gets broken, which I think it will, though, then we have a problem. Because do we have a lot of support here? The first big level is here. And I will come back to the fact why this is disastrous for altcoins. The first big level is around here, right? This is where we have this resistance, this support, this area, give or take, right? How far is that down from here? Well, that's, 37% down, give or take, right? So you would say like, okay, 37% down. If we have a wick like that and go back up, then okay, short term, but fine. I don't know. Because the problem is that if BNB goes down, let's say 40% against Bitcoin, but what if Bitcoin goes down as well, right? That's what we saw last halving year as well, especially with the altcoin market. We had the Bitcoin dominance, right? We are now mooning on the Bitcoin dominance. It finally broke out. Here in this last pre-halving year, we had the same. Bitcoin was going up from here to here. We were going up. However, the problem is, so that's why altcoins got ripped off their Bitcoin pair, right? So they lost support on their Bitcoin pair. The problem is, however, this part of the Bitcoin dominance run was when Bitcoin was going down, right? So even more money was going into Bitcoin. It was already putting into people were already putting their altcoin money into Bitcoin at this stage, right? But here they did as well, while Bitcoin was even going down. That's where altcoins got wrecked, right? Completely wrecked. This. Now, if we see the same thing, again, I don't know. But if it happened before, there's not a really good reason for me to believe why it won't happen again, especially now we have securities and all of that. The altcoin narrative doesn't look really much better than that it did back then, right? So if we get another push of the Bitcoin dominance while Bitcoin is going down again, that means altcoins are getting completely destroyed. And if we take a look at the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, I'm sorry, but it looks to me like it's ranging between this downside and this upside right here. We go up, go down again, we go up, and now we are on our way down again. And this would mean a move of 40-50% for altcoins down against Bitcoin, all right? That's because the dominance probably goes up. But again, if Bitcoin goes down compared to the dollar, which is so far, if it doesn't this time, that would be exceptional, all right? So far, Bitcoin always went down at this stage of the market because guess what? It's not a bull market yet. It's kind of how you define a bull market, right? We can, of course, have arguments about what is a bull market and what is no bull market. We are now here, right? In this area right here. If you want to call this a bull market, okay, then it's a bull market. In my book, this is the bull market, right? This bear market, pre-halving year, up and down, and then we have the up. That's the bull market. So, I'm not saying this will happen, but if it doesn't, then it would be different. And I'm not really betting my money on this time is different. So again, back to BNB. BNB Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of room to go down, right? BNB Bitcoin has around, whoa, what is it? 5, best case 10% to go down, right? And it gets whipped off its last major support. Yeah, again, if we go back to this chart that I've just showed you, then 5 till 10% down is this, give or take, this area. Yeah, we have a lot more than that. So that automatically means BNB Bitcoin highly likely to get wrecked. Also, if we look at the dominance right here, you know, major support comes in over here. Like this is, it's every kind of chart, you know, kind of shows that this is pretty likely to happen. Also, if you take a look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, you know, the biggest altcoin out there, also not doing so fine against Bitcoin, making lower lows and lower highs right here. So that's also not showing strength. I made a video a couple of days ago that the altcoin market is trying to break out again. And I said like, okay, wait for it to check out if this is going to be a fake out like here or a real breakout. So far, we are back in it right now. We have to see how the week closes, but altcoins are just so crazy weak and they're running so much behind against Bitcoin that it's just like, why would you go crazy on altcoins right now, right? The new coins can do well, of course, because, you know, that's new and that is in price discovery. But things like BNB, for example, yeah, there's a lot of money in BNB that can be taken out of it, right? So BNB Bitcoin is not looking good, right? So that can go down hard. Then, of course, we have to take a look like, okay, if BNB Bitcoin goes down, what can make sure that BNB dollar doesn't go down? Well, that Bitcoin dollar goes up hard, but that's not really in the expectations, is it? So let's take a look at BNB dollar. Now, here's where we have a bit of a problem. Let me pause for a sip of coffee. So the narratives are bad. The news is bad. The altcoin market in general looks bad. BNB in specific looks very bad. All the charts look bad. It's all bad. So let's take a look at BNB dollar. Is that looking good? Well, if we take a look at where we are right now, and let me use this trend line right here, then this is kind of the support that we have for BNB dollar. As you can see, we are sitting on this support since, again, more than 2 years already, right? Now we are sitting there. So if you purely look at this chart, you might be like, oh yeah, let's buy the support. Yeah, if you take into consideration what I just showed you about hanging on its Bitcoin pair and the Bitcoin dominance is breaking out, then it's not so good. Right, so therefore this time it might actually break down. Now, where can we go? If I just look at this chart, I don't see a lot of room to you know, to catch that. So if we take a look at this diagonal, we have one touch here, right? We have some support right here as well. We have the second touch here. We have the third touch here. Little fake out, but also the third touch here. 3 times this trend, right? So if we break down, then it depends, of course, on when we do that. If we would have do that today, then $57, right? If the longer we wait for it, you know, the higher this trend line goes, of course. If we're about to do that at the end of this year, for example, then it will be $77. It's still not so good, of course, right? And then it's a matter like, are we going to hold this trend line? Otherwise, we have to take a look at the horizontals. And if we take a look at the horizontals, that's coming in at around $40. And that's a long way down for BNB dollar, of course. BNB, USD. So let's take a look. Let's use Fibonacci. What does Fibonacci say? Right now, you don't want to use the fake outs when it comes to Fibonacci. So let's take a look at where we actually got the decent support on this. Right. So if we take a look at that and we put a Fibonacci tool around, well, here, give or take, where does it take us? And it depends a little bit on how you draw it exactly, right? But look at where the 0.382 is coming in. Right at around that $40 level, right? 48 in this case, 7. Also showing that exact same level. So around this area between $40 and $60, you know, I don't know exactly, of course. This is where the three biggest support levels show us that that's the level, right? Again, not saying this will happen, but it definitely could. So that's for BNB. Why? And by the way, it's possible that you will just create support out of nowhere, right? Just like here, we created resistance out of nowhere. Of course, that's what price discovery does. But this is not longer price discovery, right? When we came down here, for example, we also found support at, you know, this area right here and this area right here. It's not, like, I don't know. It's not looking so good. If we take a look at the bull market support band for BNB on the weekly, then it's also not great. Right, because the forecast is that if BNB keeps where it is right now, basically, then these red dots are how the bull market support band is going to move. And eventually, if we stay up here, up this trend line, we will be in battle with the bull market support band again. Now, the bull market support band is the one, the green and the red line, that rejects you in a bear market, the major trend, right? You can have these fake outs above it, but overall, look, here it was dragging it up a little bit, but when we fell down again, blah, we fell down hard, right? Major indicator as well, and that's definitely not working in our benefit. Now, what's the problem with this? Well, first, BNB has a lot of liquidity, right? So the thing is, if that liquidity gets taken out of the market, then altcoins will fall hard, right? Also, this will drag the total 3 down. It's like, for example, the total 2, you know, you have the total crypto market. This is everything, right? Then you have the total 2, it's everything except Bitcoin. Total 3 except Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also has BNB in it. And BNB has a big portion of the market. So if BNB goes down, then you can bet your ass that this is going down hard as well. Plus, a lot of coins are paired with BNB, okay? Now, for example, one of my favorite projects still is Seedify. And the problem is that Seedify is paired with BNB. Now, is that a problem? It depends how prepared you are. I mean, Seedify BNB, look, Seedify dollar is going down, all right? Making lower highs and lower lows. Seedify is looking really bearish. But if you look at Seedify BNB, also looking really bearish. Because in this case, Seedify is also making lower lows and lower highs against BNB. So what if BNB goes down hard and this chart doesn't really change, right? Then you will see, for example, Seedify 20 cents, something like that, could definitely happen, right? And some people mock me for that, like, you're stupid, can't happen. I don't know, bro. This altcoin has never been to a bear market before. How can you already predict that that's not possible? Even Cardano did it last bear market, and that's a way stronger coin than this, has way more liquidity, right? So be careful with what you wish for in this case. I think that a lot of coins can really take a big hit. If you ask me. Now, I'm not saying that BNB is going to die or anything. Right? I'm not saying that. Definitely not. And a matter of fact, I do think that if BNB... Look, BNB was never a coin that I would actually hold in my portfolio as a long-term investment or anything. But I must say that if BNB does go down towards that $50 level, give or take, might be really interesting to stack up on, to be honest. If I look at a parallel channel for BNB, is there one to make out of this, really? Well, not really. I must say that yeah, you can draw it like this. I do think that this is actually pretty accurate if you look at this blue dotted line right here, right? I must say that if BNB survives, it can really be a great candidate for the next bull run to do very well. And every altcoin that's paired with it as well, right? I don't know, for example, and look at your projects, like for example, Altera. Let's take a look at Altera right here. No idea though. It could be really random in this case. Let me go to Dextools. Check out what I can find about this. But like I said, CDFI, for example, is paired with BNB. Altera is paired with where the fuck do I find that? I don't even know. I use Kucoin. I don't even know why I use Kucoin most. Let me see. Yeah, Altera is mostly paired with BNB as well. They have a little money in USDT, but that's good, right? Because why do projects pair with BNB and not USDT, for example? Well, if you pair it with USDT and the market goes up, yeah, USDT doesn't go up, right? So then your coin doesn't automatically move with the market. And if you pair it with BNB, it does. But the problem is that if it moves with the market, yeah, if BNB goes down, right, then it moves with the down market as well. And that's kind of the thing right here. So for example, Altera, a great project, I love it. But again, if BNB really takes that hit, then Altera is likely going to go down very hard. CDFI as well. And a lot of projects on the Binance Smart Chain. Most projects on the Binance Smart Chain are paired with BNB, right? So therefore, it's really dangerous right now. I invested 10K in this thing right here. Can you imagine? Anyway, I wanted to give you a warning for that because a lot of people now look at the altcoin market and it's been going down 5% that day, 10% that day, sometimes a hit of 20%, then 2%, then 1%, and overall that compounds and it gets down really hard, right? And now we saw a few days where it went up a couple percent and everybody's bullish about the altcoin market again. I think you should be really careful because people might not realize that we are sitting on last macro support right now. And that's a very dangerous place to be. Again, I'm third time. Not saying it will happen, but be very careful with the fact that it might happen, right? And if it happens, then the altcoin market takes a hit like you may have never seen before. Be prepared for that. How do you prepare for that? Well, I'm in altcoins here and there, but I'm mostly in dollars and Bitcoin, right? And for example, if CDFI goes to 20 cents, a lot of people will be like, okay, fuck it, I give up, because they were already all in the project or whatever. Yeah, that's stupid. You can see this coming. I've been talking about this for a year now, right? And in the meantime, it's been going down, 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 right? So you could have been prepared for that. If this goes to 20 cents, I'll take a big hit in my portfolio, but I also know that I'm going to stack up like a crazy one because I do believe in the project, right? And if you go back to, let's say, $6, right? Instead of making a 10x, yeah, you can make a 40x or whatever the math is, right? 30. So it does provide us with great opportunities, but it all depends on how you are prepared. So yeah, I really needed to discuss that. Guys, thanks for watching. Again, if you like the video, please like the video. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the bell notification. See you all soon. Bye.